So I've got your part here that I've drawn. Up here we've got our layers. So if I click on this light bulb, you can see which layers I've already set up. To add the layer, just take no handles or rebates, whatever they are, and then move to a new layer, call it rebate. I can change the color here as well to make it a bit clearer if I wanted to. So there you go, that's the part. Now take that and build the array. So I've got my array built now. And then it's time to start toolpathing. So let's do 10mm hole first. So I'm going to go 10mm deep. Chosen my tool. 3/8 comp. These are sort of default settings. 12 meters a minute in XY, 3 meters for Z. And we can cut out in one hit with this tool. I also prefix up here the number of this tool with where it is in the tool changer just to make things clearer. You can see that there. So select that tool. Compression tools are not center cutting. There's no tooth in the middle. So you must always ramp. We're going to do this on the inside. We're always conventionally cutting wood. We put in a ramp. Now it's going to be a nice spiral ramp which works better on circles, but we don't want it to go through one pass all the way to the bottom. It's a bit vigorous. So let's change it just for this operation. This won't override this value in the tool table to 2mm, so it'll be 5 nice spirals till it reaches the bottom, and then the 6th one at full depth. And down here, which is where you were going wrong, what we do is we click on the vector selector, we choose all closed vectors. You can see in the background now that the 10mm holes are highlighted for everything. And you can calculate. So even if you change your model now and recalculate this toolpath, if you added more 10mm holes onto this layer, it would pick them up in the future as well. So that's that bit done. Let's do a pocket, 8mm depth. Make sure you ramp again on pockets. This will always default to the last info you had in it. And let's go 30mm hole. Calculate. And we can do another pocketing operation. This time do it 5mm deep. And this time let's choose our rebate and calculate that. Now finally you could see what else is left on layer 1. It's just the outside. Now that's the only thing that's left on layer 1. Which is our outside cuts. Now, cutting order is really important on a CNC. What we don't want to do, start cutting here, come up this edge, cut, 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 cut here, and then it's released from the rest of the board. It start coming around here. As it comes around here, probably twist it, push it off the bed, depends how big the part is. These ones aren't huge, it's 250 by 400, you'd probably be okay with that. But anything smaller, it'll try and flick it out of the machine. So to manage that, what we do for our final pass is 18.2, my material thickness is 18mm thick, 0.2 just to go into the sacrificial board, put that back to 20, and we want an outside cut for this. Now we could use our, always ramping, I do a smooth ramp. 30 degrees is my default for compression. Now we could use our selector here, layer 1, that would work. Just warning us, we're going to go 0.2 into the sacrificial board. That's done. But I don't like that. Not for the final pass, because it will cut them out randomly, even if the order is left to right or bottom to top. So I always use vector selection. And the other thing that's important is my start point. So obviously we're going to conventionally cut this anti-clockwise. So as I said before, we don't want it starting in this bottom corner, cutting it from the rest of this. All this nice material here is going to hold it in place till the very last minute. We want it to start up here somewhere. So we can use this box here to make it start in this top left corner. Current start points, you can see the green box represents where it is. So if I picked on this one was in, you'd have to do this before building your array. If I press N for node editing mode on the keyboard, you see when the cursor changes, I can then put a start point anywhere I want. Also useful if you wanted to add a tab onto this part, because there's an option in tabs to add a tab at the start point. When I press P on the keyboard, it puts it there. So for this particular one, I would have it here, and that's where the toolpath would start from as well. But as I say, you'd have to do it, otherwise now I have to do every single one individually, which I'm not going to do, so I just use this option, top left corner. Calculate that. Okay. Oh yes, I wanted to show you order, which is make sure you use vector selection order. So we don't want it cutting this one, for example. Press escape to get rid of node editing mode. We don't want it cutting this one before that one, because that will throw our whole theory out of using the rest of the sheet to pin them to the bed properly. So a bit more long-winded, of course, holding my shift key, selecting them all one by one. Yep, it's a bit more time consuming, but then you know it's going to cut them in exactly the way you want it to, and much better a few more seconds to do this than one flying out the machine and having to re-toolpath one on its own. Calculate. Okay, so that's that done. One final one. Okay, and then you can actually check it as well in the simulation. So if we reset the preview, and we're on this one, preview visible toolpath, you can see as you step through, you can see that they're cutting them out one by one. If I do that again, click, 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 or go play to the end, reset the preview, and I can preview all the toolpaths. If you double click on the scrap, double left click, it deletes it, and then you can just final check on your parts. You could always put it in a ZXY move as well, turn the toolpaths on, and that will, you could zoom in there and just check you've got no low toolpaths, you're not going to machine through the bed by mistake.